Welcome back to Better Developer Docs. In this video, we're video 3 of a series of increasing your WordPress site speed at mobile. And in the previous video, we talked about page design and its influence on page speed. In this video, we're going to talk about content delivery networks, aka CDNs, and how they can help improve your page speed. And we're also going to set one up, which is there's a particular one that is good to use and very popular in WordPress called Cloudflare, and that is free. It has paid versions or accounts for Cloudflare, but there's also a free one, which is very useful and significant in terms of page speed. So yeah, let's get into that. First, let's have a little chat about what a CDN actually is. So just a little bit of history, or sorry, technical aspect. From a technical point of view, your website comprises a bunch of files that are housed or saved on a server computer somewhere in the world, quite often North America. And in order for your user to access your website, those files need to be sent via the internet or via the internet's hardware infrastructure, being optical cables, from the server computer, let's say in North America, to your particular computer wherever you are in the world. So a CDN can help speed up the sending of those files to your computer by locating the site files on multiple servers around the world. And what that will do is that your user will be able to access the server which is geographically closest to them, and therefore the files won't take as long to get to the user's computer and load. And in that way, we actually reduce by a small amount or actually by quite a significant amount, the amount of time that the files actually take to get to the user's browser and therefore load in the browser, which is a very long way of saying we will reduce our page load time by implementing a CDN. CDNs do other things as well, but that is sort of one of the main features of a CDN in relation to site speed. They also do security and stuff like that. Okay, so let's go and set up a CDN. We're going to go and use Cloudflare, which, as I said, is popular in WordPress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to my plugins area in my WordPress site. And I actually already have Cloudflare installed. But if you don't, you can click Add New, and then here you can search for Cloudflare and then install it and activate it. And then you would have caught up to where I am. So we're just going to activate that now. And then we're going to click on Settings. And we're going to start the process. So if you don't already have a Cloudflare account, click the green button and you'll be taken to the registration process where you can create the account. And then from there, once you've created it, you'll be caught up to where I am now. I already have an account, so I'm just going to click sign in. And I actually already have these details. So the email that I signed up with, signed up to the account with, and also the global API or API token. Mine is pre-saved here because I've already done this process. But if you need to find yours, go to the setup page in your newly created Cloudflare account and find the website that you've set up, scroll down, go to the overview page, scroll down to the bottom, and there'll be a link there to show your global API key. I'll also show you, once I've opened up Cloudflare account, where that is. Okay, so basically it's saying that I haven't set up this account yet with or this website yet with Cloudflare. So it's giving me a link to Cloudflare. and I've already recently logged in, so it's going to load the dashboard straight away. And here you just need to start setting up your site. So enter the URL without any of the slashes or HTTPS part. Hit add site, and then it's going to take you through the process. So scroll down to the bottom of the page. If you want the free account, it's there, $0, and is always free, and is very useful. So now it's going to ask us to review our DNS records. In this particular case, I'm going to accept whatever records they are populating for us. These are just the records from my server. And most of the time, you don't have to play around with these, but every now and then you do. If you're doing this and you have email addresses set up with this particular URL that you're working on, or setting up in Cloudflare, then by by changing to Cloudflare, you can actually break your email, and you might stop being able to send and receive mail. So before you do this step, just double check with your IT department that the MX records, mail exchange records, are the correct ones for you to be using before you carry on. I'm going to accept those. So I'm just going to continue. And then it's asking us to change our name servers. So this is slightly technical, but not particularly hard. Your name servers are a little bit like street addresses for physical properties. In order to send someone mail, you need to know their street address. In order for someone to load your website, they need to, or your domain name registrar, which is where you bought your domain name, needs to know the name server information for your server. And when you're changing to Cloudflare, Cloudflare is going to take over from your server. It's going to take over control of the name servers. So that's why they're giving us name servers here. So we need to copy these, go over to our domain name registrar. I use Namecheap, but you may be using one of multiple different companies and services who provide domain name registration. Um, so I'm just going to scroll down to my site, betterdeveloperdocs.com. I'm going to click Manage. Then I'm going to scroll down to Name Servers area, and I'm going to change these details here. Two things. Your dashboard for your domain name registrar might be completely different to this. And so you just need to find wherever it is that you need to, or wherever it is that you can edit the name servers. So find that area and then take the name server information from Cloudflare that they're giving you and update those. And then save them. I'm going to hit save, but it's going to come up with a note that says that these changes may take up to 48 hours to take effect. Normally, the changes are not actually 48 hours. They're normally something more like 20, 30, 40 minutes, something in that range. And during that time, your website won't be accessible to the public or even to yourself. Um, the nature of the infrastructure of the internet is that once your name servers have been updated, that time is needed for the various infrastructure of the internet to understand exactly how to process your URL for your users. So it needs 20 to 40 minutes to sort of propagate, as they say, um, or to have those changes take effect. So you might have to wait a little bit for this to work, but that's okay. That's normal. What we're going to do now is go back, and we're going to go through the quick start guide, and I'm going to click improve security. These are normally all sort of turned on already. I'm just really double checking that they're all turned on. The first two are about HTTPS, which we always want to use. The second one is about minification, which is making the files served to the user a lot smaller, which is going to save us some time. Next, they're saying they're using a compression algorithm called Brotli, which is their own compression algorithm. So we'll just use that, and we'll click finish. And I'm just going to reload this page. Cool. So it's saying that my page is not yet active, and that's because we need to wait those 20 to 40 minutes in order to have the changes propagate. But that's cool. We'll wait a little bit. In the meantime, I will just show you where the API token is. So we're in our dashboard, and we're inside the actual website that we just set up, and then we scroll. We're in the overview section, right, of this overview. Scroll down the bottom, click get your API token. If you scroll down here, there's the global API key, and you hit view, then enter your password, and then it will show you the password on screen. You can copy it, and then you can go back to your configuration here and enter it in if you haven't yet done that. So let's go back to Cloudflare overview. Okay, so because I actually set up the site previously, it didn't take so long for my account to be active. But if you're setting it up for the first time, you quite possibly need to wait that 20 to 40 minutes. So there's one more thing that I'm going to do inside of this account before going back to WordPress, and that is just double check that all of the speed settings that I want, if I can actually click the right thing, um, are set. So I'm going to go to speed and then optimization, and there's actually a few more settings in here which I want to be on, and I'm just double checking. Early hints is good. It's good to have. Rocket Loader is also good to have, and this wasn't actually turned on by default, so I'm going to turn it on. And then that's about it, really. Rocket Loader is, as they say, improving the paint time for any JavaScript includes. Every website has JavaScript, so it's very useful to turn that on. And yeah, that is our Cloudflare account setup. So I'm going to go back to the Cloudflare plugin page in my WordPress site, and I'm just going to refresh that, and it should have a few more things. This I just I just click this anyway, just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure that's just setting up what we just did in the Cloudflare account. But just in case there's anything that was missed, I've just hit apply there, and we don't have to click this now, but we're going to click this fairly soon. If you make any changes to your website that you want to be seen immediately um, on the website, then you sometimes need to purge the cache, and that's the cache for Cloudflare itself. So just be aware that that's there. And if you're not seeing some of the changes that you've made on your website, it can sometimes be because the cache for Cloudflare hasn't updated yet, and you just need to purge it before moving on. So yeah, we've installed Cloudflare. We've created an account. We have set up our website. I've showed you where the API key is. I've showed you how to change your name servers and told you about the propagation time. And then we also added the rocket loader settings as well. And let's remeasure the site. But when I'm testing, I purge all the different kinds of caches that I've got in my WordPress site just to make sure everything is up to date. At this, we didn't really make any changes, so at this time, it's kind of arbitrary to purge the CDN cache, but I'm just falling into the habit of doing this just so I know that when I retest, everything's clean. Okay, so let's go back and remeasure our site in Google Page Speed Insights and also Pingdom Page Speed Tools. This 27 out of 100, a possible 100 in Google Page Speed Insights, is our previous score from when we upgraded the theme in the previous video. So this is the old score 27, and I'm going to load up a new test now so that we can compare the results from pre or before we had the CDN and after we had the CDN, so that we can kind of track our improvements here. So we're just going to scroll back over here, and we're going to give this a little second just to load up. So we can see that we went from 27 to 31, which doesn't sound like a lot, but what we're doing is in each video, we're doing a different method, and cumulatively, we're going to increase this up to the late 80s or even into the 90s. And so what I'm looking for here is just an improvement from the last score. So I'm happy with an increase to 31. We still have some things to work on, which I mentioned here under the opportunities, but as we go through the video series, you will see that number come up. If we go over to Pingdom Page Speed Tools, we can see some different metrics. What I'm really looking for here is the size of the page and the requests. So what did we have last time? Last time we had the same amount of requests, but we can see now that our page size has actually decreased by around about 1.5 megabytes, which is great. So we can see that our load time came down slightly as well to 1.85 from 2.07. However, this Pingdom Page Tools is measuring at desktop. It's not measuring at mobile. So what I'm looking for there is just improvements in these scores. So if I see any improvement there, I know that it's going to translate here at whatever device size. So there you go. We've implemented the CDN. We've seen measurable improvement. So we're going to carry on with our next video. So I'm going to wrap up this video now, but I'll leave a card in the top right-hand corner for the next video. And in that next video, we're going to talk about optimizing images for your website. Images are a very common culprit for increasing the page size that we have for EG here. And by optimizing those things, we can really get a lot of page speed improvements. I'm also going to leave another card, which is a link to a longer video where I give you a real life example of using all of these methods to speed up a website. And that video is useful to give you an idea of the different kinds of nuances and troubleshooting and changing of settings and changing of plugins that a process like this actually involves. So yeah, check that video out for a real life example of the nuances of page speed optimization. Thanks, guys. Catch you in the next